Om Bhadram Karnebhih Srinuyama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangai Stushtuvagansastanubhih Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuh Swasti na Indro Vruddhasravaah Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaah Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi Swasti no brihaspatirdadhatu Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. May we hear with our ears what is auspicious. May we see with our eyes what is auspicious. While praying with steady limbs, may we attain the lifespan allotted to us. May Indra bestow well-being on us. May Pushan, the god of earth, who is all-knowing, bestow well-being on us. May Garuda, the destroyer of evil, bestow well-being on us. May Brihaspati also bestow well-being on us. Om, peace, peace, peace. So today we will commence the study of the Mundaka Upanisad, mantra by mantra. From the very first mantra, we will start. In the first part of the Mundaka, the first chapter, the first mantra. Let us read by chanting the mantra, and then we will follow with the discussion. Om Brahma Devanang Prathama Sangbhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sa Brahma Vidyang Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jyeshtha Putraya Praha. So what it is saying, it starts with Om. All the mantras, especially in the Upanishads, we find that it starts with Om, the auspicious sound of the Om. And then it speaks of Brahma Devanang Prathama Sambhabhuva. So it is Brahma who is the first among Devas. Let us first translate the literal meaning, and then we will go to the discussion, to the significance in details. So Brahma was the first among the Devas. Brahma Devanang Prathama. So Brahma, not Brahman. So there's a difference between the Brahman, Brahma, and Brahma. So Brahma is the cosmic mind, the ultimate conscious principle. When finds expression as the universe, it finds expression as the Hiranyagarbha. Brahma's another name is Hiranyagarbha. What it means? We know that all the birth happens from the womb. So Garbha is the womb. Hiranya means luminous. So Brahma has been designated as Hiranyagarbha. Why? It is not just like an biological womb. Hiranya, which speaks of effulgence, it speaks of knowledge, it speaks of effulgence. So the first evolute, we won't say evolute, the first, evolute in a sense that after the ignorance. There is no change for the Brahman, the absolute reality. So the Brahman, when finds expression as the universe, its first expression is as the cosmic mind, the Hiranyagarbha. That is being designated as Brahma. He comes first. And the entire creation is the contemplation, the mental contemplation of Brahma. It is just his tapas, his austerity in the form of meditation. The entire creation is the thought vibration of Brahma. So he is the first. The Deva actually, we say that in Hinduism there are so many gods and goddesses. Actually, the word Deva came from Div Dhatu, which means with that which illumines. So it means the Indriyas in the microcosm, in the individual aspect, because it is the sense organs which reveals. So they are the Devas. And as per the cosmic aspect is concerned, the Devas are all the forces of nature. These forces of nature are the Deva. These forces of nature has been personalized as the various divine beings. So all the various forces of nature, the various aspects of nature comes later. First, the entire creation came from the mind, from the cosmic mind. It's all intelligence. So it's not matter which is finding expression as intelligence. By the conglomeration of matter, the intelligence has evolved. That idea, even in science, we find is gradually dwindling. Is that from the intelligence, the entire creation came. And that cosmic mind, Brahma, he is the first. From that, the other aspects of the nature, the Devas, they all evolved. So Brahma is the first. Brahma Devanang Prathama. He is the first among the Devas. Sangha Bhuva Vishwasya Karta. He is the creator of the entire universe. Vishwasya Karta, the creator of the entire universe. Bhuvanasya Gopta. And after creation, he is he who sustains the universe. He is the protector, the one who is sustaining the entire universe. He creates and he sustains. So Vishwasya Karta, Bhuvanasya Gopta. So he is the Adi Guru, being the cosmic intelligence from which the entire creation has emanated. Naturally, all the knowledge pertaining to the creation is in him, because from him the creation came. So how to evolve into nature, into the universe, and again, how as a human being we can again get established in our real nature. So for that, so this evolution and involution, the knowledge of both is inherent in Brahma, the cosmic mind. From him, the entire creation has evolved. In him, again, it will merge. So he is the one who is the Brahma Vidya, Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. So he is the one who knows the knowledge, the science of Brahman. How to get established in our real nature. That's the knowledge for which Brahma is the Adi Guru. So he is the one, what he did? Sa Brahma Vidya, Sarva Vidya Pratishtham, Atharvaya Jyeshtha Putraya Praha. So here, the Upanishad will start with the lineage, that how the knowledge of the Brahman came to be known to the humankind. So it is not some from the fertile imagination of the human brain. It's from the cosmic mind. That knowledge was instructed to Atharva. That's to his eldest son. Atharva is the eldest son of Brahma. So Brahma taught this knowledge to his Jyeshtha Putra, his eldest son, whose name was Atharva. You know that one of the Vedas is Atharva Veda. So this Atharva, the eldest son, is Atharva to whom this knowledge was imparted. So this is the idea that first came from the conscious principle, first came the intelligence. That's the Hiranya Garbha. That's the womb of the entire creation, which is illumination. That's what is Hiranya, shining as gold. It speaks of the intelligence. So from that, intelligence, cosmic intelligence, the entire creation came. So we find, while interpreting the word Brahma, we find that Shankaracharya, in his commentary, speaks of the these attributes, which actually speaks of the attributes of Brahma, by which he surpasses all, excels all. So what are those four virtues, four attributes? First is the virtue. So he is the one in whom is imbibed all the virtues. He is the inheritor of all the virtues. So what's the real idea? The idea is the absolute cosmic principle. When finds expression as the intelligence, as the cosmic intelligence, it finds expression as rhythm. Absolute reality, which is being designated as Om. That Om, the absolute reality, finds expression as energy, Shakti, Rim. That Rim again is not chaotic. The entire universe is an expression of energy which has emanated from the cosmic mind. And that energy is not chaotic. That one of the very famous quotation of Einstein is the most incomprehensible, his very famous quotation. What is that quotation? The most incomprehensible fact of the universe is that it is comprehensible. The most incomprehensible fact of the universe is that it is comprehensible. What he's speaking of? See, we as a human being, such a small creature, as if crawling on the surface of the earth, as per space is concerned, we are a minuscule compared to the entire universe, nothing. But somehow we have the intelligence by which we can decipher the working of the universe. And we can do it precisely. That our science have become so developed that a satellite can be launched from the Earth's surface to do a soft landing on the Mars. Not only that, there's a rover that's going around the Mars, sending photos, pictures, videos. What it speaks of. That how is it possible? That this law of gravitation, which is valid in the Earth's surface, is equally valid in Mars, anywhere in the universe. So it enables me to calculate the force by which the rocket has to be ejected, by which it can land, everything to the precision we can do. The entire universe, so vast in space, we can measure the magnetic field. We find the laws of the magnetism is valid everywhere. Gravitation valid everywhere. They're universal. So what it speaks of, that when the cosmic intelligence finds expression as energy, that energy is not chaotic. It's rhythmic. It follows certain laws. Rhythm. That these laws in Sanskrit is called rhythm. Rhythm is satyam. Why it is satyam? Why it is truth? Truth is something which you cannot transgress. Law is something which cannot be transgressed. If you can transgress a law, it is not a law. So the laws which has been formulated by that cosmic intelligence is something which is rhythm, satyam. None can break it. And that's why he is the one who is the inheritor of all the virtues. In him is imbibed on the virtues. Because the entire universe is bound by those laws which emanates from him. None can break it. As so many times we give that example, that when there's the laws of gravitation, just say, if it doesn't depend on my believing, whether I believe in the laws of gravitation or not, it is there. It is there to act upon me. If someone says, I don't believe in gravitation, he's not going to fly. If he jumps from a 20-story building, he will just crash and die. So I cannot break the laws. In our attempt to break the laws, we break ourselves. So now we will understand that why it is being indicated that the cosmic intelligence, the Brahma, is the one who imbibes all the virtues, because all the laws which emanates from him is something which everyone has to follow. There is no question of breaking the law. In our attempt to break the law, we will be breaking ourselves. It's not only the physical laws. Even you will find in all the religions, they speak of commandments. They speak of vidhis and nishedhas. All those things are not something mere make-believe. It's not something that I believe, so I follow them. I don't believe, so I won't follow them. It's not like that. They are the laws. If I follow them well, my life will be integrated. If I don't follow them, my life is bound to be disintegrated. Today or tomorrow, in some way or other. Just that example which we give again and again. Swami Vivekananda was in the West delivering lecture on Vedanta, and he was speaking of renunciation, discipline, as the virtue, that it is something which is needed for the integrity of our life, our individual life, as well as the social life. And suddenly someone stood up from the audience and almost stopped the lecture. He just suddenly, in loud voice, he interrupted Swamiji and commented. What was his comment? Swamiji, Swamiji, it seems you are from the medieval age. In a society, this free society of America, you're lecturing and you're speaking of renunciation. It's a medieval idea. It's an ideology of the medieval ages. It seems you have came from the medieval ages preaching us of renunciation. Being interrupted, Swamiji stopped his lecture, went near that person, and what he told was something very significant. Prattle, babes, prattle. Yours is just 200 years civilization. Have a civilization as old as ours, then you will understand the true significance of renunciation. Very interesting. Now, after the passing away of Swamiji, it's now just 150 years at the most. And when he delivered the lecture from them, it is not even 125 years. We find that his words do have a significance. I saw a movie when I was in India. It is produced by the American government to create awareness among the students in America. The name of the movie is 2 million minutes. If you convert 2 million minutes into years, you will find it is almost 4 years. 2 million minutes is almost approximately 4 years. So it speaks of, the movie is about 4 years in a student's life. The one who is in the 9th standard, who has just been promoted to the 9th standard, in another 4 years, he will be in the 12th class or the 12th standard, 12th level, whatever it may be. And that's the time his academic course will be decided, his further studies, as far as higher studies are concerned, in university, in what course he is going to get admitted. That will be decided after that 4 years. So this movie is actually to create awareness among the American students. So what that movie actually is showing, this movie was meant to be shown in all the schools to the students. So very interesting, that movie I have seen when I was in India, at Kharagpur IIT, 2 million minutes. So the first scene, it shows that 3 students are being interviewed. One is from India, one is from America, and one is from China. And all of them, The interviewer asks them that after 2 million minutes, after 4 years, what the course you want to pursue? What's your aim? What's your goal? Now, this movie was actually to promote admission in engineering college. That's why it was in IIT Kharagpur. So all the three students of class 9th standard, they answered the same, that they want to get admitted into the reputed engineering college, technological college of their country. The American student says that he wants to get admitted at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. The Indian student wants to get admitted in IIT. And the Chinese student also wants to get admitted in one of the most reputed engineering college, technological college of China. So now they start showing their life. First, they show the life of the American student. He's a teenager. Of course, he's a teenager. He's in the 9th standard. He goes to school, comes back. His education is limited just to going to school and coming back. What he does in school, he only knows. After coming back, he has started socializing. Now he's independent. For him, independence means freedom of the senses. From him, freedom means freedom of the senses. He has no idea that actual freedom means freedom from the senses, not freedom of the senses. Now for him, freedom is freedom of the senses. He's socializing, mixing with the friends. He's already a teenager. So he has made it sure that no one has right to impose anything upon him, that what the country has given him the right. Well and good. He's enjoying his life. The Indian student is something different. We find that the mother is there to be very strict, like the tiger mother she is. She makes it sure that the child, though spend some time with the friends, has to come back and every day has some stipulated hour for his studies. Not only that, before exam, that hours increases and he is not even allowed to come to the dining table. The food comes to his study table so that the time is not wasted. And the Chinese student is also almost the same like the Indian student. That's what they show. And now 2 million minutes is over. Now the interviewer will go back again to ask whether they have achieved their goal. The Indian student has almost achieved the goal. Though he had not got chance in the IIT, he has got chance in a very reputable technological institute and is happy. The Chinese student also has reached his goal. He is happy. And now the American student, first they show that he's happy. He's socializing, he's spending his time with his friends, he's really enjoying his life. So now after showing that, the interviewer goes and asks, oh, you're so happy. It seems you have got chance in your engineering college, what you were willing to. And then he says, no. I couldn't manage to get through the entrance exam. I couldn't get through the MIT. I couldn't get admitted to MIT, but I'm happy. I'm studying in some local college and I'm happy. Some subjects he has, of course, taken and he's happy. He's continuing his studies. He's socializing, he's happy. Now, the one who is concerned is the American government. After showing this, there's a big question mark in the screen. What is the question mark for? This American government is now asking the students. This movie is meant for the students of America. The American government is asking the students, will you be happy just in merrymaking? Just see, we own all the multinationals. All the big corporates, we are the one who are the owner. But now just see, for the CEO, who are the CEO? It's the Asians, as Indians, the Chinese. So will you be satisfied with the way of life you're leading? Though you have the scope to really be a responsible citizen by holding on to this position. But just see, it's all the ones from the Asian countries, they're coming and holding those posts of the CEO and all the higher positions, because there is no one who is capable to hold that post. So just to create this awareness, this movie is being produced by the American government. Now relate this movie with that sentence of Swamiji. When he was interrupted during his lecture that he's coming as if from the medieval world, what he told? Prattle, babes, prattle. Yours is just 200 years civilization. Have a civilization as old as ours, then you will understand the true purpose of renunciation. So what we are speaking of here? The laws. That yes, do's and don'ts are fixed. We may think that we have progressed as a civilization and all those outdated values are of no use. I don't believe in them. Just the way if I say I don't believe in gravitation doesn't make you fly. Similarly, not believing on those perennial values doesn't mean that you can enjoy the life as you want. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, when someone asked, is there something called absolute truth? He told yes. His answer was something very, very simple. That if you eat chili, you're bound to feel that hot sensation. Whether you take the chili in your plate or not, it is your choice. But I will have the chili, enjoy its flavor, bereft of that hot sensation. It's not going to happen. If you have the chili, you're bound to have. If you don't have the chili, well and good. So the choice is ours, whether we follow the laws or not. But laws are laws, they cannot be broken. In the present world, previously we will find our old civilization. They had an understanding with the nature. They had a respect for the nature. And in the 20th century, that famous quotation of Francis Bacon, that knowledge is power. Sometimes we think it's a very nice quotation, but actually it is a very devilish quotation. When the background in which he quoted that is something very, very heinous. What was the background? That the mother nature has a lot of wealth, but she won't give it to you willingly. You have to force it out. And knowledge is that force, that power by which you can force out. You can take out the fuel from the ground. The way we have started exploiting the nature, that reverential attitude towards the nature has gone. In all the old culture, the nature was worshipped. We had an understanding with the nature. And with the science, we thought those all are bogus. We have to extract the nature. And just in 200 years, we just see we are almost in the brink of annihilation with all the natural catastrophe happening because of all this global warming, all the climate change which is happening, and the consequences which we are facing has become something a palpable fact. So again, the same truth, that he is the one who is the upholder of all virtue. And that's what he wants all of us to follow that. He's strict about it. We cannot break it in any way. So that's why Brahma is the one who excels all other in virtue, because he is the one, from him all the virtue ensues. He is the one who represents the knowledge, because he is the collective intelligence. The entire creation has emanated from his mind. So he is the one who is the storehouse of virtue, of knowledge, at the same time detachment. Because just the way the one who has programmed the computer game knows that it is something which is a virtual reality. The programmer is in no way attached to it. He knows that it is something which is a projection. It is something which is virtual. So similarly, the thing which is emanated from Brahma's mind, he knows it is a projection. As such, it is not real. So as it is a projection, it in no way affects him. As he is always identified, though the creation came out from him, he is always identified in the real nature. The Brahman, he is always identified with the Brahman. As a result, what happens? He can easily find out that the entire creation is being a mere projection, can in no way affect him. Just the way The mirage which I see in the desert, it appears as a huge reservoir, such a huge reservoir, but it doesn't have the capacity to drench even a single sand particle of the desert. Does that reservoir has the capacity to drench even a single sand particle? No, because it's a projection. Just the way the snake which I see in the rope, that snake has no power to bite that rope. Does it have? No, it's a projection. So this speaks of the detachment. He knows it's a mere projection. So in no way it can affect him. And all the splendor belongs to him. Because nothing can excel the creator. The creation can in no way excel the creator. So that's why the Brahma, who is Brahma? That's Shankaracharya is designating these four qualities. He is the one who is the most virtuous, who is omniscient. He is the one who is the representation of the entire knowledge, because from him, the entire universe has emanated. So he is the collective intelligence, the knowledge. At the same time, he is always detached, and all the splendor, the glory belongs to him. So that's the Brahma. So who actually has been represented as a Prathama Devana. He's the first among gods, because all the individual aspects of nature can never be greater than the one who projected it, isn't it? All other forces of nature is just a particular aspect of the cosmic intelligence. So he is the one who is Prathama Devana. He is the first among the gods. First he comes, then the other aspects of nature evolved from him. So Sambhabhuva means he became perfectly manifest. The bhuva means to manifest. When I say Sambhabhuva, it speaks to manifest perfectly. What does it mean by perfect manifestation? So in the entire world takes birth under the impulsion of virtue and vice, all other created beings. We are forced to take birth as per the virtue and vice through which we pass in our life. All the good deeds, all the bad deeds which we do, that the sanskaras created out of it, that impels us to take birth in a particular body. But he is Sambhabhuva. He has born independently, unlike other worldly creatures who take birth under the impulsion of virtue and vice. So that's why the Sambhabhuva, it is not just he is born, but he is born who is totally perfect. His manifestation is perfect because he is independent of the so-called good actions and bad actions. He transcends them. So Vishwasya Karta, he is the creator of the universe. As we were mentioning, that it is a cosmic intelligence which finds expression as the universe. Brahman in association with the cosmic mind. From where the cosmic mind came? From Brahman. Because of ignorance, Brahma appears as Brahma. The Brahman appears as Brahma, as the cosmic intelligence. And once it appears as the cosmic intelligence, the entire creation is a projection of that cosmic intelligence. So he's the creator of the universe. Just the way when the white light falls on the prism is like that cosmic intelligence. White light is the conscious principle. The white light in association with the prism breaks into the spectrum. Similarly, the ultimate consciousness out of ignorance when appears as this cosmic intelligence. Now this consciousness in association with the cosmic intelligence breaks up into this world, into the spectrum of name and form, Nama Rupa. So that's why he's the creator, Vishwasya Karta, Bhuvanasya Gopta. He's the protector of the world after it is created. So even in modern science, you will find these ideas can be understood very, very nicely. When we say he's the protector of the world, what's the idea? Very interesting. Some thousands of years back, these ideas were, this were evolved. And where we find Brahma is called one who is Nishpalaka, Animesha. That our eyelids constantly, we will be just, it falls. For Brahma, his eyelids never fall. He's just looking without the eyelids, without the falling of the eyelids. That's what it's Animesha. What it actually means. Now, even in the modern day quantum science, there are many wonderful experiments. One is the double slit experiment. To find out the nature of electrons, that experiment was done. That whether the electron is an energy or it is matter. It's very interesting. It is a double slit experiment. If electron, from the electron gun, the electron is shot through one screen which has two slots. So then there's two slots are there through which the electrons are, what you say, this shot. Through the electron gun, the electrons are shot. So now first, in the first screen, there are two slots, two slits. One slit is closed, the other slit is open. So what will happen? In the second screen, if electron is matter, you are going to get a spot. Just the way if anyone throws a ball, the ball enters a window and on the opposite wall, it goes and strikes, it will create a spot there. So if it's a matter, it will be a spot. And if it is not a matter, if it is a wave, suppose a wave of water enters through the window, will it form a spot? No, it will just splash. And that splash may have fringes, that somewhere it may be, the water concentration may be more, somewhere it may be less. It will be splashing, there won't be a spot. So now when they kept the one slit open, they found that as if a spot is formed in the second screen. So immediately they thought that electron must be matter. Now when they opened both the slits, and again the electron was shot, was sprayed, now they were really surprised. Now they were supposed to see two spots through window, the matters are entering and should form spots in this in the second screen, two spots should be formed. Instead of that, they found fringes, light and dark fringes. So it happens when two waves intersperse. When the two waves are interspersing, intermingling, then what happens? Where the crest of one wave meets the crest of another wave, this wave gets intensified to create the so-called illumined patches. And where the crest of one wave meets the trough of the other wave, it will be balanced and it will be creating dark patches. So they saw this, the fringe of light and dark patches, which speaks, it's a energy, it's in the form of wave. So they were really perplexed. If one slit is open, electron is behaving like matter. If both the slits are open, it is behaving like energy. So what's its real nature? So now the third experiment, see, already two experiments was done. One experiment with one slit open, the second experiment with two slits open. The third experiment is interesting. They kept both the slits open, but they kept a camera on the first screen on which the two slits were there to see what's happening on the second screen. The moment they keep a camera and observe, now really it's a surprise. Now they see there are two spots. So when no one is seeing, the electron is behaving like energy, like probability. Energy speaks of probability, wave. Wave is a probability. The moment someone is observing, it collapses into reality. It becomes matter. So now it's a language of the science. What? That this world which I see as matter, solid matter, to find expression as something solid matter, someone has to observe. Only by observation, the probability can collapse into reality. Just to give an example, no teacher is there, the classroom, the children are all running around and making a lot of noise. The headmaster from his office, just to see what's going on, comes down the corridor and stands in front of the door of the classroom, and he finds all the children are quiet. They're sitting in their own position. That's what the entire universe, as if energy is chaotic. To really find expression, as the universe which we see, there is a need for an observation for the probability to collapse into reality. And if someone is not observing, again it's gone. So now you will understand why Brahma is animesha, constantly observing. And he is the protector of the entire creation. Just once he winks, gone, everything is gone. So this cosmic mind, who is the intelligence behind the creation, is something. We are using the modern scientific language just to have a feeling that these are not mere the imagination of some fertile brain thousands of years back. What the science is doing in the present with the external, all the discoveries they are having, all the inventions and discoveries they're having by doing experiment on the external world. These rishis did it within them, with their own mind, and went to the conclusion, which we are finding is almost similar, is exactly the same with the modern science. That's why Swami Vivekananda used to say a very interesting thing, that we always welcome science. The more the science develops, the more the laws of the nature are discovered by the science, the Vedanta will stand on strong foundation. So that's the thing you will find if you can just relate the scientific discoveries, how nicely he's a protector. These are the words we use, but you will find how wonderful this is. He is a creator, and after this creation, he is the one who is animesha. He's constantly observing, and that's why Brahma has 4 heads. This entire creation, not for a moment he can withdraw his he can just withdraw his vision. He has to be the onlooker. That's why when there's a lot of stories, we won't go to the Puranic stories just now. When chance comes, we will say that what these stories mean. We can give an indication that the Purana stories are actually they speak of some principle in all those metaphorical language. There's a wonderful story that Shiva, who is Shiva, the Virat is the Shiva, the manifested universe. Now, the Shiva, the manifestation, this is the one who is the entire universe, the Virata. He was extremely dissatisfied with the creation. Disease, death, everything he's seeing there, the sorrow through which the creatures are going through. Seeing that, he had an idea, that the notion came, this creation is not perfect. It's an imperfect creation. That's why we find in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna in one place, Narendranath, whom we think is a manifestation of Shiva, almost the same language he's speaking. There was some discussion going on, and what Narendranath was saying was very interesting. The scheme of the universe is devilish. I would have created a better world. So that's what he was saying. So the Shiva was also saying the same thing. So Shoka, everything seems to be full of sorrow. And he went to complain to Brahma. And when he was saying that your creation is not perfect, Brahma, not for a single moment, noticed Shiva. He was as if engrossed in his own creation. He was as if totally engrossed. That made Shiva very angry. Not only that, he was engrossed in his creation, and after Shiva told that your creation is imperfect, suddenly the 5th head popped up. That made Shiva feel that Brahma is arrogant. He is giving no importance to his word. And that enraged him. And out of anger, he uprooted the 5th head of Brahma. Brahma shouted in pain, "What are you doing?" And then Shiva says that you are not giving any importance to my words. He told, I cannot. I have to be animesha. The creation won't be sustained. He has to be constantly looking at the creation. And then the next thing he told, that what you see as sorrow is not because of the creation. Creation is all the sufferings which the living entities have experience is the way they react to that existence. Existence is neither bliss nor sorrow, it is just is. How you react to that fact of life, that entails happiness in life or misery. And now Shiva understood the words of Brahma. And that made him go into deep meditation. And from that contemplation, the realization came where he found the entire creation vanished. He's actually one with that absolute reality, the Brahman. And that's why Shiva, when came out from the realization, started dancing by chanting Hara Hara Vyoma Vyoma. What it means? That when you go to that absolute realization, when the prism has been removed, the spectrum again merges with that white light. Creation is not there. Hara means to seize. Vyoma means vacuum. The entire creation, he is now totally merged in his real absolute identity with his real self. And that gives a tremendous joy. And in that joy, he's dancing, saying, Hara Hara Vyoma Vyoma. That creation actually is not there. It has ceased to exist in my realization. Everything is just Vyoma. It's just vacuum, it's space. The only thing which is truth is the absolute reality. Now, because of ignorance, Brahma, to sustain the creation, has to constantly be observing his creation as an animesha. And that's how he's Bhuvanasya Gopta. He's the protector of the entire universe. But what's the plan of the creation? Swami Vivekananda, in one place, very nicely has explained that if Brahman is all perfect, what's the need of creation? So Swamiji is giving a very nice allegory. He says, see, that I can see the entire universe, but I cannot see my own face. To see my own face, I need a mirror. That how you look. Someone may say, oh, you're extremely handsome. But to realize that I'm really handsome, I have to have a mirror. So for the absolute reality to realize himself, he needs the mirror. The entire creation is the mirror. Just when I want to see my face, first I go to some water which is turgid water. I see just the outline. It is not the exact reflection. So I'm not satisfied. So what I do, I try to find some water which is transparent, clean. I see a better reflection. And then I go to some shining metal, still better. Then most probably at last I get a mirror, and where I see my exact reflection and I'm satisfied. So the creation is actually, Swamiji is saying, because to realize his own nature. He's already perfect. Just the way you may be very handsome, but you don't know. You need a mirror. So he's already perfect. To realize his perfection, this creation. So creation and the way out. You have to cleanse the mirror to see your own image and then to be satisfied and again get established in your real nature. So you need this clean mirror. You have to have the chitta shuddhi. The chitta is the mirror in which the Brahman will be exactly as if manifested, reflected. So this process of cleansing the chitta so that you can get established in your real nature is the Brahma Vidya. So the Brahma, the first cosmic intelligence, the first evolute of creation, in him, both the things are there. He creates. After all, the purpose of the creation is Brahman's realization of his own nature. He is perfect, but to know that. So within the plan of the universe, the process of liberation is also programmed. It is already there. And that's what the Brahma is having in his mind as the Adi Guru. So that's why he is the one who is the ancient teacher of the Brahma Vidya. After the creation, we are all bound to move out to the creation. This creation, the story of the creation, even in Bible, we find that story of the prodigal child. It speaks the same language, that God is all love. In another way it is interpreted as God is all knowledge, God is all love. But God is all love, God is all bliss. But to realize that bliss, you need to, through the communion, through love, only you can enjoy the bliss. Now, Brahman, to enjoy his own bliss, for he was one, he created many, so that he can enjoy the bliss of communion. But the next question comes, if that's so, why we are not programmed in such a way that we love God, we are devoted to the divine, why we get distracted by the world? So again, love is such a thing, but it comes from the communion between the two. Two souls come and there's a bliss. But that should happen as per choice. If I know the other being has been programmed in such a way that it is bound to love me, I will be assured of the fact that it is not a living being. It is just an intelligence, artificial intelligence. It is just a robot which has been programmed to love me. Love is not possible. If possible, you see the movie Artificial Intelligence, where this fact will become palpable. That the science has become so developed where robots are developed, they look exactly like human, and they've been programmed with unconditional love. But the one who purchases never feels that it is something which is lovable, because he or she knows it is a machine. It has been programmed to love you. So if God would have created us in such a way that we are bound to love him, he wouldn't have experienced that love. So gave us a choice. You may not. And he has created this universe to find a distraction, to move out. But at the same time, it is imperfect. You can never get happiness out of it. At last, you are bound to get tired and to turn around. Today, tomorrow, sometime we have to turn around and search for our Creator. And the God is eternally waiting. We say we are waiting for God. He doesn't give us vision. It is actually the opposite. It is he who is waiting for us when we really turn around. Once we turn around, it is he who will come running. That's the story of the prodigal child. The rich man had two sons. The elder son was obedient. The younger son wanted to be free, wanted the share of his property and wanted to be free. The father had to yield to his request. The rich man had to yield to his request. But in no time, the younger boy became a pauper. He wasted the share of his wealth, and now again the thought of his father came. But he was full of fear that most probably he will be rejected, he will be kicked out. But as there was no way out, he returned to the village. Father seeing him from a distance, it is the father who ran. Instead of kicking him out, he was embraced. He was brought back to home, and there was a huge feast to celebrate the son's homecoming. The story in the Bible. This speaks of the creation, its sustenance, as well as the Brahma Vidya, which is inherent. He has kept there because he knows very well we all will turn around today or tomorrow. And this Brahma Vidya is the thing which has to embrace us, to bring us back to our Father. So this Brahma in him is embedded, that Brahma Vidya. Sa Praha Brahma Vidya. And this is the Brahma Vidya with which he is instructing his ancient teacher to his own son, so that through the lineage, this Vidya is propagated to the humankind whenever who feels totally frustrated with the ways of life and turns around, this Vidya is there for him. So to speak of the lineage, this Vidya is not something which is the product of the imagination of the human brain. It is coming from the Creator. This sloka is indicating that this Upanishad, which we are going to study, is actually being imparted by the cosmic intelligence, as a Brahma, which has been imparted through the lineage, the spiritual lineage, which comes to us. And what is that Sarva Vidya Pratishtha? Yena Srutam, has been indicated in Chandogya Upanishad. Yena Srutam Srutam Bhavatya Matam Amatam Matam Avigyatam Vigyatam Iti. So by which, the teaching by which what is never heard becomes heard, what is never thought, that becomes a thought, what is never known becomes known. So what's that? That there is something which is as an essence underlying the entire creation. Through the discussion in the Upanishads, in a simple way, they say, in the same Chandogya Upanishad, as a reference, what is the Sarva Vidya Pratishtha? Why it is called Sarva Vidya Pratishtha? That it is as if the foundation of all knowledge, because from Brahman the entire creation came. And that's a wonderful example. Allegory has been given in the Chandogya Upanishad. Yatha Soumya Ekena Mritpindena Sarvang Mrinmayang Vigyatam Syat Vacharambhanam Vikara Namadheyam Mrittika Ityeva Satyam. Just the way all the pottery is made of clay. As per their shape, they may have different name. Some I may call plate, some I may call tumbler, some I may call pot. There will be various names for them as per the shape. But in essence, they are all mrittika, the clay. Similarly, know it for certain, all the name and form which you are seeing is just vacha ramhana, is just mere words. It's actually just name and form. In essence, as mrittika, they're all same. So in essence, the world of name and form, whatever you see, is the consciousness and consciousness alone. Consciousness is the fundamental of which the entire creation is the projection. If we find in the olden days, the science they used to say that matter is the phenomenon, matter and energy is the phenomenon, and consciousness is epiphenomenon. Somehow, accidentally, by the conglomeration of matter, consciousness evolved. But in the very first mantra itself, it has been indicated here that consciousness alone is the phenomenon. Everything else is the epiphenomenon. It is from the consciousness this universe has evolved. To make this, what we have discussed today, to make it something substantial, that it is, we are not speaking something nonsense. I will just quote some of the very famous scientists, the Erwin Schrödinger. His quotation I will just quote today. What he's saying is something wonderful. We'll see, he's just speaking Vedanta. Consciousness is a singular of which the plural is unknown. Consciousness is a singular of which the plural is unknown. That there is only one thing, and that what seems to be a plurality is merely a series of different aspects of this one thing produced by a deception. So is exact words of Erwin Schrödinger. The ignorance is produced by a deception, that ignorance, a series of various aspects of that one thing. In his same, in this Schrödinger's language, the plurality of sensitive beings is mere appearance. Maya. In Sanskrit, we say Maya, they're saying it's mere appearance. In reality, they're all only aspects of the one being. So this is a thing which you will find this sloka has been substantiated by the modern findings of the quantum science, the quantum physics. This is the language of all the scientists, the quantum scientists. There's this language of Erwin Schrödinger. So that's the thing. So that's the Upanishad starts with that. Just to say, this is the knowledge which has not came out from just mere imagination or some mere doctrines and dogmas formulated by some human brain. It is the knowledge which is imbibed in the very first creation in the form of the cosmic mind. It is there so that it can be availed by one who is ready for it. So with this, the first mantra speaks of that holy tradition to which this Upanishad belongs. So with this, we stop our discussion today. We'll continue with the study of the Upanishad again in the next class. Next Thursday, of course, we won't have Upanishad class because next Thursday is the Kali Puja, Diwali. So we will have our Kali Puja online celebration, of course, because still the lockdown is not fully relaxed for having a congregation here. So it will be online. So we invite you all, request you all to join the online Kali Puja celebration next Thursday. The following Thursday again, we will continue with the study of the Upanishad. So thank you all. Namaskar.